Welcome to the Cayman Rainer Show.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Cayman Rainer Show, and today we're going to talk about the dangers of online dating. So the purpose of this podcast is to help college students stay safe while using some of the most popular online dating platforms. So according to Factual.com, in 2005 alone, over 25% of rapists use online dating to find their victims. And let me repeat that, 25% of rapists use online dating to find their victims. Stop. So with the evolution of online dating leaning more towards our generation, it is more likely that someone in this class will lean more to a dating site, whether that be Tinder, Bumble, or Farmers.com. So according to GDI, more than 91% of college students use online dating more than a hookup. So with the dangers of online dating becoming more and more dangerous, it is our turn as a generation to make that number decrease. So today, we're going to bring in a couple guests that are going to help us expand on our knowledge of the dangers of online dating. So our first guest is Kendall, who's going to help us on the overview of the problem.
Now, to give a quick definition of online dating, it's basically finding a love interest online through social media apps like Instagram, Snapchat, Tinder, and many other social apps. Although online dating gives you the chance to meet a love interest, it can also give you a chance to meet a potential predator. According to FoxBusiness.com, online dating has been a gateway to numerous problems through people. And the first online dating problem will be predators that lurk on the web. Online dating has a reputation of having multiple sex victims. According to an article by BBC News, there were 185 people raped in 2014, and 85% were through online dating. Another potential problem would be catfishing. Although it's not a danger, no one really wants to be catfished. According to an article by DiDonato, catfishing is the use of a fake online persona to lure someone in. Now, and the final problem is scammers. You may encounter a scammer online somewhere or a bot somewhere, and they only want your money or your information. And there are causes to all of these situations. There are many ways to encounter a sex offender, but one of the most notable ways is through fake accounts. By making a fake account, you can basically pretend to be someone that you're not. Or you could get sexually assaulted by simply not calling them. For catfishing, it would be the same thing, using a fake account. People can use filters or even text to fake the persona or personality. And finally, the causes for scammers are basically fake or even real accounts, again, of people that want to make a story up and ask for your money, even personal information, to scam you, essentially. So, since Jaylee can't be here, we're gonna have her talk through the screen. Yeah.
With online dating, users run the risk of some people not being who they say they are or being dishonest about their intentions. Encountering a predator on an online dating site is probably more common than you might think and could potentially lead to dangerous situations. According to Taylor & Ring, a law firm based in Los Angeles, internet predators commit over 16,000 abductions, 100 murders, and thousands of rapes annually. Factually.com states that 1 in every 10 dating profiles are fake, with majority of them having the intentions of scamming their matches. Being scammed can have detrimental effects on someone's life. Sometimes it might be as small as a financial scam or as big as identity theft. According to the Washington Post, romance scams have cost consumers a record $304 million as more people search for love online during the pandemic. This number is projected to be lower than the actual because people are too embarrassed to come forward about what has happened to them. Now we will discuss the possible solutions you could use to avoid danger when it comes to online dating. Back to you.
Now we're going to bring in Hadley, who's going to help us with the practical criteria that is going to help us expand on this topic.
Thanks for having me. So obviously the criteria of this problem is making the online dating community safer. So as Kendall mentioned, they can be very dangerous and there have been many horror stories over the years. We have 4 things that make this an easy change. The first is meet in public. You want to meet in a public environment and make sure there's other people around to stay safe. You want to drive yourself, which takes the opportunity of leaving when necessary or if you feel in danger. You can also take a friend with you or tell a friend. So make sure that someone knows where you are or bring them with you as in a double date. This takes away the opportunity of anyone to isolate you or hurt you. And then the final thing you can do is have an emergency exit, which allows you to feel comfortable with that person, knowing that you can leave at any time. Thank you.
Hey. Now back to Jaylee.
Now, some people might see these actions as overly cautious, but when it comes to examining these solutions from the standpoint of being safe, another normal person would not see these actions as a burden nor a problem. With that being said, here are a few ways that you can implement safety when going out with people you have met on some form of an online dating site or app. Back to you.
So before a commercial break, we're going to bring in Garrett, who's going to lead us up into our solutions.
Meet you, sir. With that being said, here are a few ways that you can implement safety when going out with people that you have met on some form of online dating.
And on to the commercial break.
One solution is to bring a friend or tell a friend where you're going. Roxanne, a writer for Standard Media, says that it's completely normal for women to bring a friend along on the first date. More often than not, she just wants a person there, not because she's worried of you or not interested in you, but because she wants to gradually ease onto one-on-one dating format. By telling a friend or giving them a location, this takes the opportunity away for anyone to harm you or be weird in any way. ADT, a dating tips website, also states that when you make plans with someone on a dating app, always tell a trusted friend or family member where you're going. You might consider telling a friend or family member your location if you feel embarrassed with them coming along. You can also give the idea of a double date or a full party date if you feel uncomfortable being with that person one-on-one. This is a good second option if you feel uncomfortable physically bringing someone with you.
Left.
Now, I don't know about her solution, but mine is the best. Now, if you want to lower your risk of being kidnapped, go to a public place. If you go to a public place, if somebody sees you, they'll call the police, bam, you're good. Now, if you want to pick a place, go somewhere where you're familiar with. You know, a local coffee shop, somewhere that, you know, restaurant maybe, and you'll be lower at risk. No prostitution, no sex trafficking, no human trafficking, same thing. Now, avoid meeting at your house, apartment, church, their house, because, you know, you're more at risk. So avoid those things. I'm the best solution.
Left.
I'm going to talk to you today about my solution is the best. There are many ways to stay safe while using online dating, but having an exit strategy or exit plan is the most efficient way. The counterpart to planning out your outing is planning out how you'll get out of it, according to Ravenscraft. It's smart to have an exit strategy because you never know if something will happen to go wrong or who you will be with. Whether it be a fake emergency or a phone call to a friend, you need to have a way out because it's important to remember they can't harm you if you're not there. Plan out the strategy ahead of the date and pick out a time where you might leave and let friends know when that might be, just in case something seems to change. And that's the best way to get out.
Right.
Another possible solution to ensure safety is to not rely on your date for transportation. Tinder suggests that you should avoid getting into a vehicle with someone you do not know or trust very well, especially if it is the first time meeting. By being in control of your own transportation, you are allowed to leave whenever you want, regardless of the reason. According to RAINN, the Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network, you should not rely on your date in case you start to feel uncomfortable or unsafe at any point during the date. Users should also have a few ride-sharing apps downloaded on their phones in case you need a backup plan. This allows a safe way to get home if you did happen to let your date pick you up and want to leave, had too much to drink, or whatever the reason may be.
So welcome back from the commercial, and now we're going to evaluate from just the solutions that we just saw. So start with anybody who wants to start.
I'd like to start.
Yes.
So with my solution, I will admit that is kind of an awkward situation that you could be put in, you know, asking to bring a whole other person on a date. That could be a red flag for some people. If you decide to make it a double date, that could be a little less awkward. I feel like that's probably the best part of the solution. But overall, it does kind of make the situation weird for online dating.
That makes sense.
Well, for my solution, I still feel like it was good. I feel like somebody could have helped you if you go to a public place. I feel like people should take it into consideration. Move into a public place. Don't go anywhere personal if you still know them. But if you already got a set place that's personal, I guess that's where you want to go.
It might seem chivalrous for your date to pick you up, but it is ultimately safer not to rely on your date for transportation, according to ADT. This will lower the risk of being abducted, raped, or even murdered by a date. The principle of stranger danger still applies past adolescence, especially when it comes to online dating safety.
My solution was the best because once you develop your exit strategy to perfection, there's no way that anything could happen to you if you got out or you weren't there. You are put at less risk of being stuck with someone for hours on end, according to Howard. You could always sneak out a back door or just tell your friend in your danger if you're feeling sketched out or unsafe. There's nothing more than you want to do than get out of there. Either let it be known, and that's why it's always important to have your exit strategy.
All right. So we're going to conclude this podcast up today, and we're just going to talk about how. So everyone stated the cold hard truths to the dangers of online dating. So from having a friend help you get out of that sticky situation, meeting in a public place, or even not relying on them for transportation, might be the way to save yourself. So it is very vital to always have a backup plan just in case something bad happens, and we can all agree on that. So with the rise in cases stated in the introduction, it is our responsibility to help and protect others from falling into the trap as victims. So we must continue to change the direction of our future and see those numbers decrease. And so we just have to emphasize to everyone what are they going to do to help out this. So Internet Predator Stats found that online predators commit over 16,000 abductions, 100 murders, and thousands of rape each year, and that's crazy. And so these are terrifying numbers, but once again, the tips in this speech are here to help every single one of you and your loved ones to lower that number to zero. So we just want to thank you guys for listening to our podcast. It was fun. Hopefully you guys found something new, and we just want to thank you. Bye.